What's up, creator? I'm Josh, and we are gonna get those poses just right with the OpenPose ControlNet. We're gonna use this to control the position of human characters in our images, and we're gonna use it and we can make multiple different images with the same pose in it. It's really cool, and it opens up a whole other world of possibilities. Check this out. Now let's start with the face. We're gonna do both face capture and we're gonna do body capture, but we're gonna start with the face. So let's open up our gallery, and I'm gonna pull this image of this desert nomad and restore all settings. I like this one because he has heterochromia where he has two different colored eyes. I think that's so cool. Anyway, first off, let's randomize the seed, and I'll show you that if we used the exact same prompt and settings, we would get totally different poses. So we have different images, they're looking in different ways. They are, they're still all portraits and everything, but if I wanted to be very specific, then I would use ControlNet. So let's go ahead, let's open up our gallery again. Let's bring this image back, and I'm gonna drag it down into ControlNet. If you've seen the depth ControlNet tutorial, you would know that we could achieve a similar thing by using that. But if we use depth, it's going to keep all of this entire part of his body the same. But what if I want to maybe change any other aspects of it, but I just want the face to be basically in the same position? If I wanted to do that, I would just use the face preprocessor, which I'm gonna make this bigger so that you can see it better, which just captures the face and nothing else. So now in any image I generate, the face is gonna be right there and all other aspects of the photo can be different. You can see that my Imagine bar is great because I forgot to choose the ControlNet model. No matter, let's just set the OpenPose model here and imagine 4 new images. See, now we're much more consistent where each of their faces are in the exact same spot, but all of the other aspects of it are different. And then you could, if you wanted to, change to different styles, and there's many different things that you can do with it. So we can use OpenPose and get some really cool face captures, but we can also use it to capture the body pose. And I'm gonna show you that with a different image. So let's open up our gallery, go into this folder. I'm gonna pull this image of this guy that's a thinker. But first, I wanna see which model I used to generate it. I used Blazing Drive, so I'm gonna wanna use that same model because I like the style. Let's restore all settings, drag it over to ControlNet. Oh, I'm gonna need to switch models, so let's do that first. And I used Blazing Drive, which is this one down here, which is good at kind of doing anime styles. And then for this one, we're gonna want to do a guidance scale of 9.5 and 30 steps. I have a little bit more guidance, but that's okay. And let's drag it over to ControlNet and scroll down. And this time we're gonna do pose capture as opposed to face capture. So we can see that his pose here, you have his arm coming down, this arm is kind of bent back that way. And now all of our images will have a person in this specific pose. Let's remember to choose our ControlNet model, and we're gonna select OpenPose, scroll back up. Now, right now we have a bronze sculpture of a man that's deep in thought. Let's go ahead and try a different one. In this case, we're gonna do an astronaut in the thinker pose, and imagine. All right, we got 4 different astronauts in a very similar pose. In a couple cases, we see her right leg going over here on this side, and other ones it's her left leg. But generally speaking, it is pretty consistent, especially with the direction her face is looking, and her left arm and her right arm are consistent. So you can see that you can be very consistent in the pose that we're gonna do. Let's try one more. In this case, we have an elderly woman in the thinker pose in a garden surrounded by flowers and greenery with sunlight and all this other stuff. Let's see what we can come up with. Ooh, this prompt actually works really well with the Blazing Drive model because it's kind of an anime style. Now, because when we're using ControlNet, we're using Stable Diffusion 1.5, we're gonna wanna make these images look better. So sometimes you have maybe a little bit of funkiness with the hands, which, they fixed in more recent models. But in this case, if we wanted to fix it, it's really easy. So let's take this image and we're just going to enhance it. Ooh, yeah, see, much better. So now we don't have any funkiness with our hand. This is actually really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my gallery. And if you've watched a few of my ControlNet tutorials, you know that it's a very common aspect of my workflow to then enhance it. Sometimes I'll use the regular upscaler, sometimes I'll use enhance, which is actually uses flux to enhance it in a really nice way. But that's how you use OpenPose. With face capture or with pose capture, you can do some really cool stuff and have very consistent results. Awesome, now you've got the skills to control the poses in your images, so go create some really cool compositions and some dynamic scenes and crazy things, and make sure to share it with us in Discord, and I will see you in the next one.